The galaxy held its breath as the emperor of the once mighty Galactic Empire stood before a sea of faces, human, alien, and everything in between. Jack and Lyra flanked him, their presence a silent reminder of humanity's newfound power. For eons, the Emperor began, his voice echoing across countless worlds. We feared change. We feared the potential sleeping within humanity. But today, we embrace that change. A cheer went up from the assembled humans, while their alien neighbors watched in cautious amazement. Back on Earth, Zara and Maria worked tirelessly to heal the scars of battle. With a wave of her hand, Maria restored forests and mountains. Zara's energy manipulated the atmosphere, clearing away the pollution of war. Tom returned from the colonies, bringing with him representatives from 1,000 worlds. Some were human, others alien races that had sided with humanity in the final days of the conflict. As the galactic delegates gathered in the restored halls of the ancient Earth structure, the Guardian stepped forward. The time has come, it announced, for humanity to retake its place as guardians of the galaxy. But this time, you will not stand alone. The Earth's defenses lowered, and for the first time in millennia, the planet welcomed visitors from across the stars. Ships of all shapes and sizes descended, carrying curious aliens eager to meet the legendary humans. In the days that followed, a new galactic council was formed. The Emperor, humbled by his experience, took a seat not as a ruler, but as an equal. Jack, Lyra, Zara, Maria, and Tom were asked to represent humanity. But the changes were just beginning. Across the galaxy, humans and aliens worked together, combining their unique abilities to solve problems that had plagued civilizations for eons. Barren worlds bloomed with life as humans used their powers to terraform inhospitable planets. The ancient knowledge contained in the Earth's databanks was shared freely. Cures for diseases, clean energy solutions, and faster-than-light travel became available to all. Yet, with great power came great responsibility. Jack and his friends worked tirelessly to teach humans how to control their abilities, emphasizing compassion and wisdom over raw power. There were challenges, of course. Some humans, drunk on their new abilities, needed to be gently but firmly reminded of their duty. A few alien races, still fearful of humanity's potential, required diplomacy and patience to bring them into the fold. But for every setback, there were 100 victories. Children from 1,000 worlds played together in zero-gravity parks. Artists collaborated on masterpieces that spanned entire star systems. Scientists unlocked the secrets of the universe, pushing the boundaries of what was thought possible. 1 year after the Great Awakening, the 5 heroes stood on a balcony overlooking a transformed Earth. The planet had become a shining jewel, a symbol of hope for the entire galaxy. "Did you ever imagine it would turn out like this?" Maria asked, watching as a group of alien children chased each other through a floating garden. Tom shook his head, grinning. "Not in a million years." "We've come so far," Zora mused, "but our journey's just beginning." Lyra nodded, her eyes on the stars. "There's still so much to explore, so much to learn." Jack looked at his friends, then out at the bustling galaxy beyond. "You know, when the Empire warned us to stay away from Earth, they thought they were protecting themselves. Instead," Lyra finished, "they ended up saving the entire galaxy." As night fell, the sky lit up with a spectacular display. Humans and aliens alike used their combined powers to paint the cosmos with light and color, a celebration of unity and hope. The Guardian, watching from the ancient structure, smiled. Humanity had not just reclaimed its birthright. It had exceeded all expectations. The age of isolation was over. The age of unity had begun. And somewhere out there, new adventures waited, in a galaxy more wondrous and full of potential than anyone had ever dreamed possible. The end. As Zara's ship disappeared into the stars, a strange calm settled over the battlefield. The remaining heroes, Jack, Lyra, Maria, and Tom, stood united, their powers humming beneath their skin. Suddenly, the Guardian's voice echoed in their minds. The time has come. Humanity must awaken. Before they could ask what this meant, a blinding light erupted from the ancient structure. It shot into the sky, splitting into thousands of beams that streaked across the globe. "What's happening?" Tom asked, shielding his eyes. Lyra's eyes widened in understanding. "It's activating the dormant potential in all humans." Across Earth, in hidden bunkers and long-forgotten colonies, humans began to stir. Eyes that had been closed for centuries slowly opened. Meanwhile, on Nova Prime and other human worlds, something extraordinary was occurring. People stopped in their tracks, gasping as new awareness flooded their minds. Governor Sarah Chen was in the middle of a crisis meeting when she felt it. A rush of knowledge, of power, of connection to something greater. Around her, others were experiencing the same thing. I remember," someone whispered. "We were more than this." Back on Earth, the Imperial forces were in chaos. Their weapons suddenly stopped working, circuits fried by an energy they couldn't understand. The four heroes felt the change too. Their powers, already incredible, grew exponentially. Jack reached out with his mind and could sense every human on Earth and beyond. "We're all connected," he said in awe. "All of humanity united." Maria placed her hand on the ground, and the entire planet resonated with her. She could reshape continents with a thought. Tom took to the skies, no longer bound by his suit. He soared through the atmosphere and into space, marveling at his new abilities. Lyra interfaced with Earth's ancient systems, unlocking secrets hidden for millennia. "Our history," she gasped. "I can see it all." The Imperial commander watched in horror as his forces crumbled. Humans were appearing out of nowhere, their eyes glowing with power. Some were dismantling his ships with their bare hands, while others were simply willing them out of existence. In desperation, he opened a communication channel to his homeworld. "Send everything we have." "The humans' heir." His transmission cut off as Jack calmly stepped onto the command ship, having teleported there with a mere thought. "This war is over," Jack said simply. Across the galaxy, on every human world, people were awakening to their true potential. Courts of law paused as judges and criminals alike stumbled under the weight of new awareness. Sports games stopped mid-play as athletes suddenly found they could move faster than the eye could see. On a distant farming colony, a young girl laughed in delight as she made flowers bloom with a wave of her hand. In the depths of space, human explorers found they no longer needed ships, able to traverse the cosmos with their minds. The awakening wasn't just about power. It was about understanding. Conflicts that had seemed important moments ago now felt petty. The squabbles of nations became meaningless as humanity realized its place in the universe. Back on Earth, the four heroes regrouped, watching as humans from across the galaxy began appearing, drawn home by an irresistible call. "What now?" Maria asked, looking at her friends. Jack smiled, his eyes reflecting the stars. "Now we take our place in the universe. But first," his expression grew serious, "we need to find Zara." As if in response, a familiar ship appeared in the sky. But it wasn't alone. Behind it was a fleet of vessels, their designs as varied as the human colonies they came from. Zara's voice crackled over their communicators, filled with joy and disbelief. "You guys aren't going to believe what just happened out here." The heroes laughed, relief and excitement bubbling up inside them. The awakening was complete. Humanity had remembered its true nature, and the Galactic Empire. They were about to learn why they should have heeded their own warning. The sun was setting on Nova Prime, casting long shadows across the busy streets of New Houston. It was just another day for the human colonists who called this distant world home. Children laughed as they played in the parks, while adults hurried home from work, their minds filled with ordinary worries. Little did they know that their lives were about to change forever. High above the city, in the clear evening sky, a strange light appeared. At first, people thought it was a new star, but it grew bigger and brighter with each passing moment. Soon, everyone stopped what they were doing and looked up. It wasn't a star, it was a spaceship. The ship was unlike anything humans had ever seen. It shimmered with colors that shouldn't exist, its hull covered in symbols no one could read. As it descended towards the city center, a hush fell over the crowds. Governor Sarah Chen rushed to the landing site, her heart pounding. In her 10 years of leading Nova Prime, she had never faced a situation like this. Earth had lost contact with the colony years ago, and they had never encountered alien life. Until now. The ship's doors opened with a soft hiss. Out stepped 3 figures that were clearly not human. They stood over 8 feet tall, with silvery skin that seemed to glow from within. Their eyes, large and dark, scanned the crowd of stunned humans. "We come with a message," the tallest alien said, its voice resonating in a way that made everyone's teeth vibrate. "A warning from the Galactic Empire." Murmurs rippled through the crowd. Galactic Empire. No one had ever heard of such a thing. Governor Chen stepped forward, her voice steady despite her fear. "Welcome to Nova Prime. I am Governor Sarah Chen. We are honored to receive your message." The alien nodded, its movements fluid and graceful. "Your kind has spread far, humans of Earth, but you have wandered into realms you do not understand." A chill ran down Sarah's spine. How did they know about Earth? "The Galactic Empire has observed your species for many cycles," the alien continued. "We have watched your progress, your wars, your triumphs and failures. And now we bring you this warning. Stay away from Earth." Gasps and confused whispers erupted from the crowd. Stay away from Earth, their homeworld. "But Earth is our home," Sarah said, struggling to keep her voice calm. "Why would we stay away?" The alien's eyes seemed to darken. "Earth is not what you think it is. It holds secrets and powers beyond your comprehension. For the safety of the galaxy, you must never return there." People in the crowd began to shout questions, their voices rising in anger and confusion. The aliens remained calm, their gaze sweeping over the agitated humans. "This is not a request," the alien said, its voice cutting through the noise. "It is a command from the Galactic Empire. Disobey and face the consequences." With those ominous words, the aliens turned and walked back to their ship. The crowd watched in stunned silence as the strange vessel rose into the sky and disappeared in a flash of impossible light. Governor Chen stood rooted to the spot, her mind racing. What did this mean for humanity? What secrets could Earth possibly hold that would make an entire galactic empire fear it? As the night fell on Nova Prime, urgent messages were sent to every human colony. Emergency meetings were called. Debates raged late into the night. Should they heed the warning, or should they risk everything to uncover the truth about their ancestral home? One thing was certain, nothing would ever be the same again. The stars, once a symbol of humanity's future, now held a new and terrifying mystery. And somewhere out there, Earth was waiting, its secrets calling to its long-lost children. The warning had been given, but would humanity listen? 3 months had passed since the aliens' warning. Across human space, debate raged. Most leaders wanted to play it safe and avoid Earth, but a small group thought differently. In a secret base on Nova Prime, 5 people met in a dimly lit room. They were about to change history. "We can't just ignore Earth," said Captain Jack Harper, his eyes gleaming with excitement. "It's our home, our birthplace. We need to know why it's forbidden." Dr. Lyra Chen, the governor's daughter and a brilliant scientist, nodded. "The alien tech we saw was amazing. Imagine what we could learn from Earth." The others, Engineer Maria Santos, Security Chief Zara Okoro, and Pilot Tom Lee, all agreed. They had a plan and a ship. Late that night, they snuck aboard the Curiosity, a small but fast explorer vessel. As the ship lifted off, Tom's hands shook on the controls. They were really doing this. For days they traveled through space, always watching for signs of the Galactic Empire. Strange things began to happen as they got closer to the solar system. "Look at this," Maria called out one day. The ship's systems were going crazy. Numbers flashed across screens, making no sense. Zara frowned. It's like the laws of physics are changing. As they entered the solar system, things got weirder. Stars seemed to move in impossible ways. Time felt stretched and twisted. There, Lyra shouted suddenly. On the main screen, a blue-green planet appeared, Earth. But it wasn't the Earth they expected. Strange, shimmering barriers surrounded the planet. Massive structures floated in orbit, far beyond human technology. "What is all this?" Jack whispered, his earlier confidence shaken. Suddenly, alarms blared. Multiple objects approaching. Tom yelled, "They're fast." On the screen, dozens of sleek ships appeared. They looked like the alien ship from Nova Prime, but deadlier. "Evasive maneuvers," Jack ordered. Tom's hands flew over the controls, and the Curiosity dove, and spun through space. Zara manned the weapons, but their shots seemed to pass right through the alien ships. "It's no use," she shouted. "We can't hit them." Just when it seemed hopeless, Lyra noticed something. "The barriers around Earth," she said, pointing. "There, opening." A gap had appeared in the shimmering field around the planet. Without hesitation, Tom steered the ship towards it. "Are you crazy?" Maria yelled. "We don't know what's down there." But they had no choice. The alien ships were closing in. With a final burst of speed, the Curiosity plunged through the gap in Earth's defenses. There was a moment of blinding light. Then, silence. The alien ships were gone. Below them, Earth waited. As they began their descent, they saw that this wasn't the Earth of their history books. Vast cities covered entire continents, but they looked ancient and abandoned. Strange energies pulsed through the atmosphere. "It's like Earth has been growing without us," Lyra said in awe. They landed in what was once North America. As the team stepped out onto their ancestral home, they felt a strange tingling throughout their bodies. "Do you feel that?" Jack asked. The others nodded. Something was changing inside them, awakening. In the distance, they saw a massive structure. It looked like a cross between a pyramid and a futuristic skyscraper. Symbols glowed on its surface, the same symbols they'd seen on the alien ship. "I think," Lyra said slowly, "we're about to find out why Earth is forbidden." As they walked towards the structure, none of them noticed the small device on their ship blinking to life. Across the galaxy, in the heart of the Galactic Empire, an alarm began to sound. The humans had returned to Earth, and nothing would ever be the same again. The 5 explorers approached the massive structure, their hearts pounding. As they got closer, the tingling in their bodies grew stronger. "It's like the air is alive," Maria whispered, looking at her hands in wonder. Zara, always cautious, kept her weapon ready. "Stay alert. We don't know what's in there." The entrance to the structure was a tall, narrow opening. Strange symbols glowed around it, pulsing with an inner light. As they stepped inside, the symbols flashed brightly. Suddenly, Jack stumbled. "Whoa!" he exclaimed. The others turned to him, alarmed. "What's wrong?" Lyra asked, reaching for him. Jack blinked, looking confused. I can read the symbols. They say, 'Welcome home, children of Earth.'" Everyone stared at him in shock. How could he suddenly read an alien language? They moved deeper into the structure. Inside, it was bigger than seemed possible. Vast halls stretched in every direction, filled with strange machines and glowing crystals. Tom pointed at one of the machines. "Look, it's like the ship that came to Nova Prime, but older." Lyra approached a wall covered in more symbols. As she stared, the symbols began to make sense. "It's our history," she said in awe. "But not the history we know." The others gathered around her as she read. "It says humans were once the most powerful beings in the galaxy. We had abilities beyond imagination. But something happened. A great disaster. We chose to forget, to start over." "That's impossible," Maria said. "We evolved on Earth, didn't we?" But even as she spoke, memories were stirring in all of them. Memories that couldn't be theirs, of stars and powers and ancient wars. They continued exploring, each room revealing more impossible truths. They found chambers that could control gravity, machines that could create matter from nothing, and devices that could bend space and time. In one room, they found something that looked like a sleeping pod. Inside was a figure that looked almost human, but not quite. "Is that one of our ancestors?" Tom asked, his voice shaking. Zara stepped closer, her eyes wide. "I think it's still alive." Before anyone could stop her, Lyra pressed a button on the pod. With a hiss, it began to open. The being inside slowly sat up. It looked at them with eyes that swirled with galaxies. When it spoke, its voice echoed in their minds. "At last, you have returned," it said. "I am the Guardian, left here to wait for you." The team bombarded the Guardian with questions. Why was Earth forbidden? What happened to humanity? What were their true abilities? The Guardian raised a hand, and they fell silent. "You were not meant to return so soon," it said. "The Galactic Empire fears you, and with good reason. Humanity's power, if unleashed before you are ready, could destroy the universe itself." It stood, towering over them. "But now that you are here, I must prepare you. The Empire will come, and you must be ready to face them." The Guardian touched each of their foreheads. Suddenly, knowledge and power flooded through them. They saw the vastness of space, felt the energy of stars, understood secrets of the universe. As the rush faded, they looked at each other in amazement. They were changed, more than human now. "This is why Earth was forbidden," Jack said softly. "We're dangerous." Lyra nodded, her mind racing with new knowledge. "But now we have a choice. Do we use this power? And if we do, how?" Before anyone could answer, alarms began to blare throughout the structure. The Guardian's face grew grim. "The Empire has found you," it said. "They come to destroy Earth and end humanity forever. You must decide now. Will you fight, or will you run?" The five looked at each other, their newfound powers humming beneath their skin. The fate of humanity rested in their hands. The final battle was about to begin. The alarms blared louder, echoing through the ancient structure. Jack, Lyra, Maria, Zara, and Tom looked at each other, their newfound powers crackling beneath their skin. "We have to fight," Jack said, his voice firm. The others nodded in agreement. The Guardian's eyes flashed. "Then let us prepare. Follow me." They raced through twisting corridors, passing rooms filled with technology beyond their wildest dreams. Finally, they entered a vast chamber. In the center stood 5 suits of armor, unlike anything they had ever seen. "These are the celestial armors," the Guardian explained. "They will amplify your new abilities and protect you from harm." As each of them stepped into a suit, they felt their powers grow exponentially. Zara flexed her hand, and a ball of pure energy formed in her palm. Tom thought about flying, and his feet lifted off the ground. Suddenly, the whole structure shook. On a large screen, they saw hundreds of Imperial ships entering Earth's atmosphere. "It's time," the Guardian said solemnly. "Remember, you're not just fighting for Earth, but for the future of humanity across the galaxy." The team nodded, determination in their eyes. They stepped onto a platform, and in a flash of light, they were teleported to the surface. The sky was dark with Imperial ships, their weapons charging. On the ground, thousands of robotic soldiers were advancing towards the ancient structure. "Protect the structure at all costs," Jack yelled. "It's the key to humanity's future." They sprang into action. Zara raised her hands, and a massive energy shield formed around the structure. Imperial weapons fire splashed harmlessly against it. Tom soared into the sky, weaving between enemy ships. With a thought, he could alter their trajectories, making them crash into each other. Maria touched the ground, and the earth itself came alive. Giant stone hands erupted from the soil. swatting Imperial ships from the sky. Lyra's mind expanded, connecting with the planet's long-dormant defense systems. Ancient weapons, hidden beneath the surface for millennia, sprang to life, firing at the invaders. Jack faced the robotic army. He raised his hand, and thousands of robots simply stopped, their programming rewritten in an instant. The battle was fierce. For every ship they destroyed, two more seemed to take its place. The robotic ground forces were endless. "We can't keep this up forever," Maria shouted, sweat pouring down her face as she commanded the Earth to swallow up waves of enemies. Just then, a massive ship, easily 10 times the size of the others, descended from the clouds. A booming voice echoed across the battlefield. "Humans of Earth," it said, "your resistance is futile. Surrender now, or we will destroy your planet and every human colony in the galaxy." The team regrouped, breathing hard. "What do we do?" Tom asked, looking at Jack. Jack's mind raced. They couldn't let Earth be destroyed, but they also couldn't let the Empire threaten all of humanity. Suddenly, Lyra's eyes widened. "The ship," she exclaimed. "Our ship still has the coordinates of Nova Prime and other human colonies. If the Empire gets that information." Understanding dawned on their faces. They had to protect that information at all costs. "I'll go," Zara said firmly. "I'll take the ship and lead them away from Earth. You guys hold the line here." "But Zara," Maria protested, "that's suicide." Zara smiled sadly. "Sometimes one must fall so others can rise. It's been an honor, my friends." Before anyone could stop her, Zara activated her suit's teleporter. In a flash, she was gone. Moments later, they saw the Curiosity rise from its hiding place and shoot into space, a swarm of Imperial ships in hot pursuit. "May the stars guide you, Zara," Jack whispered. With heavy hearts but renewed determination, the 4 remaining heroes turned back to the battle. Earth's fate and the future of humanity hung in the balance. The war for humanity's destiny had only just begun. As Zara's ship landed, she emerged with a wide grin. Behind her, representatives from every human colony stepped out, their eyes shining with newfound power and knowledge. "You won't believe what's happening out there," Zara exclaimed. "The entire galaxy is in uproar." Jack, Lyra, Maria, and Tom gathered around, eager to hear more. The Guardian joined them, its ancient eyes twinkling with pride. "The Empire's hold is crumbling," Zora continued. "As humans everywhere awaken, entire systems are breaking free. But the Empire won't go down without a fight." As if on cue, the sky lit up with thousands of warp signatures. The Empire had called in its entire fleet. "Looks like the real battle is about to begin," Tom said, cracking his knuckles. The Guardian stepped forward. "You've remembered your powers, but not yet your responsibility. Humanity was once the protector of peace in the galaxy. It's time to take up that mantle again." Jack nodded, a plan forming in his mind. "We need to split up. Zara, you and Maria coordinate our forces here on Earth. Tom, take a team and liberate our colonies. Lyra, you're with me. We're going to the heart of the Empire." As they prepared to leave, the Guardian handed each of them a small glowing orb. "These contain the collective wisdom of your ancestors. Use them wisely." With determined nods, they set off on their missions. On Earth, Zara and Maria led a spectacular defense. Zara created massive energy shields that covered entire continents, while Maria reshaped the planet's surface, creating mountain ranges and canyons to trap enemy ships. Humans from all walks of life joined the fight. Farmers used their new powers to grow forests in seconds, entangling enemy ground forces. Children, with their powerful imaginations, brought their toys to life, sending armies of giant teddy bears against bewildered Imperial troops. In space, Tom led a fleet of human ships, if they could still be called ships. Some were simply humans flying through space, protected by bubbles of pure energy. Others rode on constructs of thought given form, great space whales and cosmic dragons. They swept through human colonies, breaking Imperial control. On Nova Prime, Tom and Governor Chen led a charge that toppled the Imperial headquarters in minutes. Meanwhile, Jack and Lyra journeyed to the Empire's throne world. They moved faster than light, surfing the cosmic waves between stars. As they approached the Imperial Palace, they faced waves of the Empire's most elite forces, but nothing could stand against them. Jack rewrote the laws of physics in localized areas, turning enemies' weapons against them. Lyra tapped into the planet's core, using its energy to power their attacks. Finally, they stood before the Emperor himself. He was a being of pure energy, floating above a golden throne. "So," the Emperor's voice boomed, "the children of Earth have returned. Do you think your newfound powers make you gods?" Jack stepped forward, his voice calm but filled with authority. "No, they make us human. The true humans we were always meant to be." Lyra joined him. "We don't want to destroy you. We want peace." The Emperor laughed. "Peace? Your kind brings only chaos." "Not chaos," Jack corrected. "Change. Growth. That's what you fear, isn't it? A universe that doesn't bow to your control." As they talked, Jack and Lyra subtly wove a complex web of energy around the throne room. It wasn't an attack, but an invitation. "Feel what we feel," Lyra said softly. "Remember what it's like to grow, to change, to live." The energy web activated, and for a moment, the Emperor experienced the full depth of human emotion and potential. His form flickered, shock evident even in his alien features. This is what you are," he whispered. Jack nodded. "This is what we all could be, together." For a long moment, the fate of the galaxy hung in balance. Then, slowly, the Emperor descended from his throne. "Perhaps," he said, "it is time for a new order in the galaxy." As Jack and Lyra led the Emperor out to address the Empire, they knew that the real work was just beginning. Humanity had been unleashed, but now they had to prove they could be the guardians the galaxy needed. The stars themselves seemed to shine brighter, heralding the dawn of a new age.